Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Citizen Wide, the platform where we speak truth to power. You're watching Citizen Wide, the platform where we speak truth to power. Please go ahead and subscribe to Citizen Wide on YouTube. Hit the notification button, and of course, give us a thumbs up. And of course, I'd like to add a happy new year. A happy new year. Happy 2024. This is the second day in the new year, the 2nd of January 2024. To kick things off, we're going to listen to the speech made maybe a few hours back by President Tinubu in its entirety, and we will come back and we'll discuss that. Let's have a listen. Here goes.
Dear compatriots, it gives me immense joy to welcome each and every one of you, young and old, to this brand new year 2024. We must lift up our hand to Almighty God in gratitude for His grace and benevolence to our country and our lives in the year 2023 that has just gone by. Though the past year was a very challenging one, it was eventful in so many ways. For our country, it was a transition year that saw a peaceful, orderly, and successful transfer of power from one administration to another, marking the yet another remarkable step in our 24 years of unbroken democracy. It was a year you, the gracious people of this blessed nation, entrusted your faith in me with a clear mandate to make our country better, to revamp our economy, restore our security within our borders, revitalize our floundering industrial sector, boost agricultural production, increase national productivity, and set our country on an irreversible path towards national progress that we and future generations will forever be proud of. The task of building a better nation and making sure we have a Nigerian society that cares for all our citizens is the reason I ran to become your president. It was the core of my renewed hope campaign message, on the basis of which you voted me as president. Everything I have done in office, every decision I've taken, and every trip I've undertaken outside the shores of our land since I assumed office on 29th May 2023 have been done in the best interest of our country. Over the past 7 months of our administration, I have taken some difficult and yet necessary decisions to save our country from fiscal catastrophe. One of those decisions was the removal of fuel subsidy, which had become an unsustainable financial burden on our country for more than 4 decades. Another was the removal of the chokehold of few people on our foreign exchange system that benefited only the rich and the most powerful among us. Without doubt, these two decisions brought some discomfort to individuals, families, and businesses. I am well aware that for some time now, the conversations and debate have centered on the rising cost of living, high inflation, which is now above 28%, and the unacceptable high underemployment rate. From the boardroom at the broad streets in Lagos to the main streets of Kano and Nembe Creeks in Bayelsa, I hear the groans of Nigerians who work hard every day to provide for themselves and their families. I'm not oblivious of the expressed and sometimes unexpressed frustrations of my fellow citizens. I know for a fact that some of our compatriots are even asking if this is how our administration want to renew their hope, their compatriots. Take this from me. The time may be rough and tough. However, our spirit must remain unbowed because tough times never last. We are made for this period, never to flinch, never to falter. The socio-economic challenges of today should energize and rekindle our love and faith in the promise of Nigeria. Our current circumstances should make us resolve to work better for the good of our beloved nation. Our situation should make us resolve that this new year, 2024, each and every one of us will commit to be better citizens. Silently, we have worked to free captives from abductors. While we can't beat our chest yet that we had solved all the security problems, we are working hard to ensure that we all have peace of mind in our homes, places of work, and on the roads. Having laid the groundwork of our economic recovery plans within the last 7 months of year 2023, we are now poised to accelerate the pace of our service delivery across the sectors. Just this past December, during COP28 in Dubai, the German Chancellor, Olaf Scholz, and I agreed and committed to a new deal to speed up the delivery of Siemens energy power projects that will ultimately deliver reliable supply of electricity to our homes and businesses under the Presidential Power Initiative, which began in 2018. Other power installation projects to strengthen the reliability of our transmission lines and optimize the integrity of our national grid are ongoing across the country. My administration recognizes that no meaningful economic transformation can happen without steady electricity supply. In year 2024, we are moving a step further in our quest to restart local refinery of petroleum products with Port Harcourt Refinery and the Dangote Refinery, which shall fully come on stream. To ensure constant food supply, security, and affordability, we will step up our plan to cultivate 500,000 hectares of farmland across the country to grow maize, rice, wheat, millet, and other staple crops. We launched the dry season farming with 120,000 of land in Jigawa State last November under our National Wheat Development Program. And this new year, we will race against time to ensure all the fiscal and tax policies reforms we need to put in place are codified and simplified to ensure the business environment does not destroy value. On every foreign trip I have embarked on, my message to investors and other business people has been the same. Nigeria is ready and open for business. I will fight every obstacle that impedes business competitiveness in Nigeria, and I will not hesitate to remove any clog hindering our path to making Nigeria a destination of choice for local and foreign investments. In my 2024 budget presentation to the National Assembly, I listed my administration's 8 priority areas to include national defense and internal security, job creation, macroeconomic stability, investment environment, optimization, human capital development, poverty reduction, and social security. Because we take our development agenda very seriously, our 2024 budget reflects the premium we place on achieving our governance objectives. We will work diligently to make sure every Nigerian feels the impact of their government, the economic aspirations, and the material well-being of the poor, the most vulnerable, and the working people shall not be neglected. It is in this spirit that we are going to implement a new national living wage for our industrious workers this new year. It is not only good economics to do this, it's also a morally and politically correct thing to do. I took an oath to serve this country and give my best at all times. Like I said in the past, no excuse for poor performance from any of my appointees will be good enough. It is the reason I put in place a policy coordination, evaluation, monitoring, and delivery unit in the presidency to make sure that governance output improves in the living condition of our people. We have set the parameters for evaluation. Within the first quarter of this year, ministers and head of agencies with a future in this administration that I lead will continue to show themselves. Fellow Nigerians, my major ambition in government as a senator in the aborted Third Republic, as governor of Lagos State for 8 years, and now as the president of this blessed country, is to build a fair and equitable society and close the widening inequality gap, while I believe the rich should enjoy their legitimately earned wealth. Our minimum bargain must be that any Nigerian that works hard and diligent enough will have a chance to get ahead in life. I must add that because God didn't create us with equal talents and strengths, I cannot guarantee that we will have equal outcomes when we work hard. But my government, in this new year, 2024 and beyond, we work to give every Nigerian equal opportunity to strive and to thrive. For the new year to yield all its good benefits to us, as individuals and collectively as a people, we must be prepared to play our part. The job of building a prosperous nation is not the job of president, governors, ministers, lawmakers, and government officials alone. Our destinies are connected as members of this household of Nigeria. Our language, creed, ethnicity, and religious belief, even when they are not same, should never make us work at cross purposes. In this new year, let us resolve that as joint heir to the Nigerian Commonwealth, we will work for the peace, progress, and stability of our country. I extend this call to my political opponents in the last election. Election is over. It is time for all of us to work together for the sake of our country. We must let the light each of us carries, men and women, young and old, shine bright and brighter to illuminate our path to a glorious dawn. I wish all of us a happy and prosperous year 2024. May God continue to bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
So that was President Tinubu right there. What did you think of it? What are your thoughts on him and the promises made. Two, three things I'll just mention quickly, and it's not so much for me to say much about it, but I'm hoping that you will provide your thoughts on this. He talked about, he reiterated the issue about the subsidy removal, and that it was also unsustainable. How do you feel that is working? Is it really subsidy removal? Is that, has he addressed the fundamental mental issues? One, two. The power issue. Talked about Siemens of Germany speaking to Olaf Scholz and trying to get them to build a sustainable 24-hour 24/7 electricity, because we know that an economy without electricity is not going to really go amount to much, because we need electricity. Then he talked about the refineries, the Port Harcourt and Dangote refinery. The Port Harcourt, they said it was up and running, but the flares only happened one time. Since then, there's not been anything else. Does that mean that that was just a stunt? These are questions worth asking. Now, he talked about also food supply. You know, sort of something about investing in Jigawa last November, and then he's going to try and make the focus of the government on having a sustainable food supply, rice, wheat, millet, this kind of our staple food. Good. He touched briefly on security, saying that they're doing what they can, but that security is a major concern that must be addressed. But putting all of this together, in my own view, in my own opinion, putting all of this together, we, the people, he did mention that it's not only the job of the government to go alone to get the economy and the nation running, working. It's the people. He's right, but what they have done, what our successive government has done, is failed to equip we, the people, with the knowledge and the power we need to hold those in government to account. What do I mean by that? Many of you on this platform would already know that we have created something called Nigerian Constitution in Yoruba language. Let me just quickly expand that so you can get a better grip, a picture of it. Here we go. So that's something that's on the website www.citizenetwork.org. We believe on this platform that for the people to be able to participate in their governance, they need to know the laws of the land and the fact that they're sovereigns in their local languages. Pure and simple. As it currently stands, that is not the case. The people have access to the Bible in their local languages, the Quran in their local languages, but the Constitution of Nigeria is not in our local languages, and we need that to deepen in our community. Women who are in the market, when they hear somebody speaking English, they feel removed from their governance. The governance is there and they're there. It's a subservient role that they're playing in that kind of equation, and that is the problem. That is why we've been advocating for and trying to call for us all to partake in this process of actually translating the Constitution in our local languages, audio voice messages in our community, audio books of this as well is something that we'd like to work on. But all of this requires us to do something. It requires us all to please help facilitate this by working with groups like ours, Citizen AY, the platform where we speak truth to power, Constitutional Awareness Action Group, Citizen AY Constitutional Awareness Action Group, where we talk about and discuss at length what we can do to deepen the knowledge of the Constitution in our local languages. So, for example, as you can see on the screen, the Constitution, Citizen AY has done the work in translating large chunks of the Constitution into Yoruba language, because I firmly believe that the participation of the people will be made easier if the Constitution that's being used to govern them is in their language, so they don't have to go to school before they know their rights. They already know it in their community, and we begin to encourage that. And we do that by a process of educating our people locally in their own language. We meet them where they are, translate the Constitution such as we've done, and do programs whereby they not only learn the constitution in their language, they learn how to use the constitution and to participate in their governance. It encourages the people to become part and parcel of their governance and be able to hold them to account. And they can do things like, they can refer that, and we for example, section 14.2a is a very good example of what I mean. People are not aware, our market women are not aware that they possess powers of sovereignty, which I'm going to read out to you, firstly in Yoruba, then I'll read it in English. Under section 14.2, it talks about the power we possess as sovereigns. Now, let me read to you in Yoruba. Ìjọba jẹ́ ti àwọn ènìyàn Nàìjíríà láti ọ̀dọ̀ ẹni tíjọba nípasẹ̀ òfin orílẹ̀-èdè ìgbàgbọ́gbàgbára àti àṣẹ rẹ̀. So in English, that means sovereignty belongs to the people of Nigeria, from whom the government, through this constitution, derives all its powers and authority. That is something that our market women need to know, because the fact every time they hear somebody talk to them in English, somebody in government, they feel removed from the process of governance, and they feel that they are being told what to do. They feel they cannot engage or participate in it. They feel that they have to comply with whatever has been said, not realizing that they are the sovereigns and they can participate, and indeed they must monitor what the governance is doing, because the governance is ultimately answerable to them. But that's why this is important to have in our local languages. Help us in that process. Please, of course, subscribe to us on YouTube. By subscribing, you empower us to be able to do the work which I'm about to explain further. So please subscribe, hit the notification button, give us thumbs up, give us likes on this particular video and the platform. So we know that we are sovereigns. Now, how do we use that sovereignty? Again, that's something you can do in our local language. It talks about it here, 14.2c. Ìkópa àwọn ènìyàn nínú ìjọba wọn gbọ́dọ̀ rí dájú ní ìbámu pẹ̀lú àwọn òfin àbí àwọn ìpèsè tìyí orílẹ̀-èdè. So it talks about it in English. The participation by the people in their government shall be ensured in accordance with the provisions of this constitution. Again, all of that, you see, it's in our local language. And once the plan that we have on Odudu and Citizen AY and Odudu TV Radio is to actually have this constitution printed out, the entire book printed out, and each in Yoruba, and each of our communities will have a copy of this book. Not only that, we will also have constitutional champions who are well versed in Yoruba, who can now go into each of the communities to teach and encourage our people to read and be comfortable and develop the strength to hold their government to account using the powers within this constitution, because it is in their language. People will be empowered automatically. And then we will just reiterate the need for them to know that they possess the powers of sovereignty as stated in the book, and we can refer them to it, and they can read all parts of the constitution, making it impossible for those who are in government to try and pull the wool over the eyes of the people of the people they're meant to serve. And the people must participate. By doing all of this, we believe firmly that our people can begin to participate in their own governance and be able to hold those they elect into office to account. And this is not going to be a quick process, it's going to be a gradual process. So that's where subscribing here is important, because we want, in each community, we want to have a constitutional champion that will have a team that they are going to go specifically into our local communities, villages, towns, and cities, and spreading the knowledge of the constitution. If the knowledge is if the Quran and the Bible is being spread using our local languages, then we firmly believe that the constitution can and must be spread in our local languages, because that's the language our people know. The problem, 90% of the problem that we have right now is that people do not know about their constitutional right because it's not written in their language. So they go through from 0 to about 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, not knowing about the constitution. And when they do know about it, what they do know is that, oh, this is something that the government does, and they have to comply. They don't understand the other part of it, that is they are the sovereigns, and they're the ones who have the power to question the governance. So we need to start young, and that's the process we want. So we're championing a constitutional champion from the Citizen AY Constitutional Awareness Action Group, training material, to train them how to actually share and disseminate information in our local languages about our constitutional rights, and also, of course, the constitution in our books, so that we can teach our people and encourage it. That is the only way we can change things. Now, please, when I say all of that, it doesn't mean I've abandoned Yoruba Nation. It just simply means that right now we know that we cannot achieve Yoruba Nation. We need to help our people where they are, empowering them to hold those in government to account. And by knowing this constitution and the powers we possess, we can actually begin to partake in the process where there is a monthly allocation going on. Our people are not today, they've never asked a question about it because they don't even know that they have the right to question them. Now, by doing this process of translating the constitution to our local languages, the people know the powers that they have. Not only do they know the powers that they possess, and also they are taught how to use it. Section 14(2)(c) specifically. The participation by the people in the government shall be ensured in accordance with the provisions of this constitution. Those are the kind of things that we want to bring forward and hopefully energize our communities and change the narrative. We must participate in our governance. This thing of just standing by and praying and begging the government, no, you don't need to beg. The government is answerable to you. This is part of why knowing the constitution inside out, particularly for our market women, our farmers, our ode, our buka owners, our vulcanizers, our hairdressers, our clothes makers, all of the businesses you get to mention. Locally, many of them, they feel removed from governance because it is in a foreign language. And we need to make sure that this constitution is something that people take ownership of. And the best way we can do that is to teach them in the local language, for them to be able to hold those into account, the elect into office to account in their local language. So that is really our focus. So, I think majority of the work that we need to do now starts with us. We are in the 2nd of January 2024. Please do get in touch. admin@citizenay.org if you want to be part of this process. We are talking about in every community. So that's the work we're trying to do. In every community in Yoruba land, we must have constitutional champions that are going to go to the community, specifically having the translated Nigerian constitution, and then they go and empower the people to know what is in the constitution, reminding them and letting them know their sovereigns, and then how to exercise that sovereignty, as stated under section 14(2)(c). The participation by the people in the government shall be ensured in accordance with the provisions of this constitution. So that is the work we need to do. So for me, I don't think it's too much really what President Tinubu or anybody is saying. It is about we, the citizens, now coming together and actively participating in the governance. And that can be facilitated by knowing the constitution in your local languages. And ladies and gentlemen, I hope you found this beneficial. Let us know your thoughts. You, of course, been watching Citizen AY. Citizen AY, the platform where we speak truth power. Don't forget, please go ahead and subscribe. Subscribe to Citizen AY. Hit the notification button. And, of course, give us a thumbs up. Help us reach more people. Thank you so very much. I'll be in touch with you. Let's have your thoughts and comments. What are your thoughts on what you saw in terms of the presidency? And is it not time for us now to begin to actively empower our people on ground? Those of us who are abroad, our task must be how to encourage our people to know about the constitution in our local languages. It doesn't mean we have abandoned Yoruba Nation. It just means that right now, the rights and things that the people should benefit from, they should know and be able to begin to participate and hold the government to account in preparation for when we now get a referendum and they can vote to go for Yoruba Nation fully. This is how this is going to go. It's not going to happen just like that. It's going to be a gradual process. I hope you found this beneficial. You have of course been watching Citizen AY, the platform where we speak truth to power. Let us have your thoughts. Anything you may want to say about what President Tinubu has said. How do you see it? What are your thoughts? What do you think should happen? Do you agree also that it is imperative for us as people in Nigeria, as citizens, to know the constitution in our local languages, and as that will help facilitating our being more pro taking collective action to hold our governor to account? Do you agree with that? Let us have your thoughts. Thank you so very much. You have been watching Citizen AY, the platform where we speak truth to power. Please please don't forget, go ahead and subscribe, hit the notification button, and of course, give us a thumbs up. Thank you so very much. I'll be back later on. Please do share, and share. I bid you happy New Year.